Hello, jazz fans, and welcome to Jazz Chats with David Friesen. And we have a very special guest today. He's a good friend of mine. We've recorded together. His name is Oleksii Vikulov. Is that right, Oleksii?
Yes,
Vikulov.
that's correct.
Vikulov.
Yes.
I'm doing the best I can. Oleksii is a jazz trombonist. He is also a classical conductor, and he conducts the National Academic Symphonic Band of the Ukraine. And we have a new CD out entitled Testimony, where I'm playing several of my compositions with this band, with Oleksii conducting this orchestra. I have found him to be extraordinarily patient and pliable, with a jazz musician who comes into an orchestra setting that is not used to that type of discipline. I have found him very courageous, very musical, and very passionate about the music. Please let me introduce to all of you Oleksii Vikulov.
Hello, David. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I want to let the audience know that at the end of this interview, there's something very, very special. So hang in there with us, get to know this amazing musician. You're in Kiev right now, is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
And how are things in Kiev dealing with the pandemic? And as a musician, I know you had a concert, I think last night, with an American trumpet player, was that correct?
Not exactly, with a Hungarian trombonist.
Uh-huh. And
Yes.
was that last night?
No. It's gonna be it's gonna be next Tuesday. Yes, and that's all canceled yesterday. Yes, and we hope it's gonna be in June.
In June.
Last week on June. Yes.
Oh boy.
This year.
I've heard that before.
Yes.
So it sounds like things have kind of been up and down in the Ukraine. Is that correct?
Yes, I think it started a third wave of coronavirus now, and it's getting worse and worse day by day, and we all don't know what it will be tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We just hope, yes.
And you and I have a project together that we're working on. 8 of my songs with a string quartet. I'm going to have to come to Kiev to record those, but yes. we don't know when yet. We don't know it's very ambiguous. It makes it difficult to make plans when we're involved in this pandemic.
That all plans are crashed by the coronavirus. It's so pitiful for me, for all of us.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Let me ask you this, Oleksii. I find it, maybe I just don't know about this, but I thought it very unusual to have a conductor in a strict classical setting that is also a jazz trombonist. I think that's a wonderful combination. Tell us about that. What was first, the conductor or the trombone?
The first was the trombone, of course. I started to play trombone, and also I played piano. And then when I studied at the music academy, and I started conducting, and I very like it so far. And I hope you like it too, my
Very much.
conducting. Yes, but also I can't forgot the trombone. I missed the trombone, but all my time is for the conducting now.
Yes, okay. I just found it very useful in that I've met other conductors. Um, I was in a situation playing with an orchestra with a very strict conductor that didn't have the pliability that you have. You're very
Thank
flexible,
you.
and you gave me total freedom to do what I wanted to do. And even at times, I caught your expression was like you kind of rolled your eyes and did this and looked at the orchestra. Says, I have no idea what he's doing. But
Yes, it was.
and and I might not know what I'm doing at the moment either, going with the flow. But you're very patient, and I felt that you had a real gift for bringing music out of a situation like this because of your flexibility. Um, did, how did that happen? Is that because you were a jazz trombonist, or was that the way you were taught in school?
First of all, I think, in my opinion, conductor have to feel music. If conductor don't feel the music, he can't be the musician, be a conductor. You have to feel it inside you, and I think the conductor uh, is born from childhood. I think the main feeling of the conductor is growing up at the studying at the academy, maybe at the music school, and when you feel it, when you can keep the orchestra playing in your time, in your beat, it's the main goal. When you're feeling the soloist, how he or she playing piece or another music, and when you can express it to the audience, it's the main goal of the any musician, I think, or and conductor too.
Yeah, I remember listening to the Bach orchestral suites conducted by Uendi Menuhin, Udi Menuhin.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes.
and I know that he was a jazz fan, and I really felt that passion in the way he conducted. Um, I also attended a concert one time, the Cleveland Orchestra, conducted by George Sell, um, which was a magnificent experience. And I caught that same thing you're talking about. From are you familiar with George Sell?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, who are some of your inspirations conducting?
Many of conductors. It's any of them have something special
Yeah.
for conducting, and I keep from each other, from them, something that I need to my profession, to my feeling, to my music sensibility. Um, I can I can talk about just one person.
Okay.
They all great,
Yeah.
for me.
Leonard Bernstein obviously comes to mind.
Yes, yes.
You know.
He was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I hear what you're saying. Um, you are still a jazz trombone player, even though you're probably mainly conducting right now. You're still a jazz trombone player. Are you able to practice trombone? Do you do that?
No, it's a pity, but I now have no time for it. The conducting is, yes, it's, I miss the trombone now. All my time is for the conducting, for the orchestra, for the arrangements, and yes, I have no time for the trombone so far. I miss it.
And let me mention just briefly, your English is very good. It's
Thank
excellent.
you.
Did you learn this in the schools in Ukraine, correct?
Yes, correct.
How many years do you have learning English?
I don't know. I learned English any year of my life, from the childhood, and maybe next year. Yes.
And dealing with musicians like myself, probably, and just
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, and we're a little spoiled in America, because all around the world, English is the language, that the businesses deal with, and so we're a little spoiled. I know my personal assistant Natasha speaks Russian, Ukrainian, Czech, and English. A lot of Europeans speak more than one or two languages. It's a great asset. How can you practice conducting? Is there such a thing that you can practice conducting?
Yes, it's just like maybe some athletic practicing, just like sportsman. You have to keep your muscles in tonus. You have to always feel your arms, your hands when you're conducting you have to, just like any musician, you have to practice every day. You have to do some exercises for the conductors, because if you don't, you will not going be so flexible in some gestures. Just like a pianist, you have to practice. Just like the bassist, you have to practice, and the conductors must practice almost every day.
So, I mean, it's the motion of the arm clarifying the edge and the preciseness, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Now,
sorry,
that's okay.
David, besides of physical exercises, you have to do music exercises. You have to do rehearsals with your mind, with your ears, with your eyes, and you have to read music scores. You have to listen to music, to any music. You have to feel the rhythm of any music, any style, and it's the other side of the exercises for the conductor.
Which kind of prepared you for me.
All of it.
My new CD, of course, for the fans that might not be aware, is on the Origin record label. It's called Testimony, and it's with the orchestra that I call it an orchestra. It's, I guess the legal pronunciation would be band.
Band, yes.
But it's a woodwind and brass band. No strings except for my bass.
And percussion.
And percussion and piano, yes. Which is a string
instrument.
Piano, yeah,
of course.
My music is a little different. And so how was it for you? Did it take a lot of adjusting to play my music, because my cadences are not so there's no 2-5-1 type cadences in my music, and my chord changes are very angular. So I'm just wondering, was this a challenge for you?
It was a discovery for me. Your music, yes, yes, that's right. Your music is very, very talented, very, very melodic. You have your own style, your own style. When I hear your music, I know that's it. That is your music. Uh, that was very interesting to work with you, to work with your music, to do arrangements on your music. That was really, really maybe big challenge for me as a musician, as a conductor, and I liked it.
I've got you in a corner here. Which way can you go? Yeah, I know, and I know for the musicians that have worked with me, sometimes it's difficult for them. My current trio with Joe Manis on tenor and soprano and Charlie on drums, they're so pliable, and it just feels hand in glove. And I've felt this with other musicians too. And I felt it with you. You gave me a lot of freedom. I didn't feel confined. And I thought that was a real gift that you have as a conductor. I observed how you worked with your, I'll call it orchestra, with the members of the
band.
Of the band. It's a classical band. I mean, you play classical music and some pop music, but it's a strict, very precise group of individuals who are very gifted on their instruments. But I noticed how you dealt with them. I would call you strict. That you didn't let things slip by. You were very precise, and you demanded attention. You demanded certain things from the orchestra. At the same time, you were very flexible with me. You allowed me as much space as I wanted. And so I remember I tried to create laughter. I tried to create some kind of humor that would just lighten the situation, but not interfere with your relationship with the orchestra. It was a great experience for me. I loved doing it.
Me too.
Thus wanting to do this string quartet with you, this new project. But it's a gift I think you have that a lot of conductors wouldn't have, to be able to have this pliability and this compassion for what they're doing and for what I was bringing to the table, you know. And I'm trying to find out how you were. Do you have brothers, sisters?
No, I don't.
The only child, and your
yes.
Your mother and father, were they musicians?
No, my grandfather, great grandfather, and grandmother was musicians.
So
well, musician.
How is it? Is this just your personal trait? I'm wondering how you were able to exercise this pliability, this flexibility that made for a very peaceful and not stressful situation when I was playing with you in the band.
I can't explain it. I think it's something inside me. It's my person. It's my music. That's what I am. I just feel it, and I just bring it to all people, to the musician, to the orchestra, and to you. And I think the freedom is inside your music. And that's why we have so good connection when we worked with the album and the recording and the concert piece, concert performances, and I feel you and you feel me,
Yeah.
and that's the answer.
Yeah, you can't practice those kind of things. That either happens or it doesn't, is kind of
Yes,
what you're
yes.
saying. Um,
Some things you can't practice at all.
okay.
You just feel it, and yes.
Well, I know conductors are at the top of the rung, man. I mean, you're knowing everyone's part. You've got all this happening. You know, I can't imagine doing this knowingly. I might be able to do it intuitively, but definitely not knowingly. I think my mind would explode. So I have so much respect for you. Let me go back for a moment to before we conclude our interview. Let me go back to the jazz trombone for a moment. I want to ask you, who are some of your influences on the trombone, people you really like?
I like, first of all, J.J. Johnson, of course. Many of them, many trombonists were so talented, so jazzy, so musical for me. Maybe Glenn Miller, of course, as a band leader,
Yeah.
as a great composer of swing era of big bands. I don't know. I listen to all of them.
Why jazz?
Because in this music I feel so free, and I feel so in my boat, you know. I think it's my music. I just feel so fine when I play, when I conduct this music.
You know, when I was in the Soviet Union, 1983, did 21 concerts. I was in Moscow. I was in Leningrad. At that time, it was called Leningrad.
Yes.
In Vilnius and Kaunas, which was part of Lithuania, which was still part of the Soviet Union. Now it isn't. But I met so many people that had been in prison and were able to hear Willis Conover's Voice of America, I think it was called.
Yes,
He brought jazz to the Soviet people. And I've had so many Russians tell me how much it helped them because of the freedom of the music. And you just said that. You talked about the freedom of the music. I have always found the passion of the Eastern Bloc countries. I worked for years with Uwe Krupinski, who was originally from East Berlin, came over the wall. A certain passion that the Eastern Bloc countries have that we don't have in America. It's a different kind of passion we have in America. I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just a different type of passion that's very intense and very pure, very real, not made up. And I find it really very intriguing. And I caught this from you as a artist, as a musician.
Yes, that's correct. But also in classical music you can improvise. You just have to play that the composer wrote, and that's all. In jazz music you can improvise.
Yes.
And you can show your soul.
Yes.
You can show your thoughts, and you can show all yourself for the audience.
Yes.
And that's is called freedom for me.
Yes, I would agree. You know, I look forward to our collaborations together. The one that we're working on called Celebration.
Yes.
And I have one more question for you. That Oleksii, what can you leave us with? What can you leave to the people that are listening now to this interview? What can you say that will be positive and offer hope for the future?
My message will be next. We just gonna try to keep our minds clear. We're just gonna be healthy. We just gonna to fight for our ideas, fight for our clear clear mind. We just not give up in any situation. We gonna hope for the best in maybe near future, maybe next year. I don't know about this year, maybe near future. And first of all, stay healthy and keep your mind clear. That's the main.
Thank you, Oleksii. That's excellent advice, and I'm going to keep that on my mind and utilize that. Thank you so much for doing this interview, and to all the fans out there that have attended this interview. Stay well, stay healthy, and God bless you all.
Thank you, David.
Oh, you should have been in by that time. He didn't know. I
have no idea.
I know you didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't let you in on our little jazz secret.